Have you ever done everything your doctor told you, taken your pills on time, eaten more fruits and veggies, gone for your walks only to feel worse instead of better? You're not alone. Frank, a retired mailman from Florida, thought he was doing everything right. Every morning, like clockwork, he took his blood pressure medication with a tall glass of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. That was his daily health routine. Grapefruit's healthy, right? Packed with vitamin C. Good for the immune system. Frank never missed a dose and never missed his juice, but one morning, he stood up too fast from the couch and collapsed. Dizzy, weak, confused, his wife called 911. At the hospital, the doctors were puzzled. He hadn't missed a dose. He hadn't doubled it. What went wrong? Well, it was the grapefruit. The juice he thought was helping him was actually hurting him. That's right. Some fruits, yes, even the ones we think are healthy, can dangerously interfere with common medications, especially those used by people over 60. And it's not just grapefruit. Other fruits like apples, oranges, and grapes can also trigger unexpected and sometimes deadly reactions with certain drugs. That's why in this video, we're talking about something that isn't often mentioned at the pharmacy counter or even at your doctor's office: the hidden dangers of combining everyday fruits with your medications. Not to scare you, but to empower you, because a little knowledge could save your life or the life of someone you love. So let's start by taking a closer look at that glass of grapefruit juice. Now, grapefruit isn't bad on its own. It's full of antioxidants and nutrients. But the problem is, it also contains natural compounds called furanocoumarins. These sneaky chemicals block an important enzyme in your digestive system called CYP3A4. And why does that matter? Because that enzyme is responsible for breaking down many medications in your body. When CYP3A4 is blocked, your medication builds up in your system. It doesn't get broken down properly, which means you could accidentally be getting double or even triple the dose your doctor intended. That's what happened to Frank. The verapamil he was prescribed to control his blood pressure accumulated in his bloodstream until it dropped his pressure so low, it nearly stopped his heart. Then, Frank is not alone. This same reaction can happen with many medications used for high blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, sleep disorders, and even asthma. Take Linda, for example. She's 62, and she's been managing high cholesterol for years with simvastatin. Her doctor said her numbers were looking better than ever. But then, Linda started a new health kick: green smoothies in the morning, sweetened with fresh grapes and a splash of grape juice. She figured, why not double down on healthy eating? But within a week, she started feeling sore like she'd just run a marathon. Her arms ached, her legs felt weak. Blood tests showed her liver enzymes were sky high, and her doctor took her off the statin immediately. It turned out the grape juice was making the medication too strong, causing muscle breakdown and liver stress. Just like grapefruit, grapes contain compounds that can interfere with drug metabolism, especially for cholesterol-lowering medications. Now, let me be clear, this doesn't mean you need to fear fruit. You don't need to cut fruit out of your life, but you do need to be smart about when and how you eat it, especially if you're on medications. Here's something many people don't realize. It's not just the juice. Even a handful of grapes, or a few segments of grapefruit, can be enough to throw off your medication levels. And it's not just about one pill, it's about the buildup over time. These interactions are sneaky. They don't always cause an immediate reaction, but over days or weeks, the consequences can become serious. And it's not just blood pressure and cholesterol drugs. Did you know that some anxiety medications, like diazepam or carbamazepine, can also react badly with these fruits? The interaction can make you feel overly sedated, groggy, even dangerously drowsy the next day. That's not just annoying, it's risky. Driving, climbing stairs, even taking a shower can become dangerous when your reflexes are slowed down like that. And then there's asthma. Some asthma medications, especially those in theophylline class, can become less effective if you're drinking grape juice regularly, which means your symptoms, wheezing, shortness of breath, don't go away. Your medication isn't working the way it should, and you might think you need a higher dose, when in fact, you just need to adjust your diet. All of this might sound overwhelming, But here's the good news. Once you know what to look for, it's not that hard to avoid these dangerous combos. One of the simplest things you can do is switch to water when taking your pills. Not juice, not tea, not even milk, just plain water. It's the safest bet, every time. And if you love fruit, and I know many of us do, space it out. Don't have your medication and your fruit at the same time. Give it a few hours. Or even better, talk to your doctor or pharmacist. Ask, does this medication have any food interactions I should know about? It's a question more of us should be asking before we continue. Me ask you something. Have you or someone you know ever had a strange reaction while taking medications and thought, that's odd, I followed the instructions exactly? Maybe the issue wasn't the pill. Maybe it was something in your breakfast bowl. If that's ever happened to you, I'd love for you to share your story in the comments below. You never know who you might help by speaking up. We're not here to blame or shame. We're here to learn, grow, and stay safer together. Marlene, age 70, lives in Arizona and has always believed in a healthy lifestyle. Every morning, she goes for a brisk walk around the neighborhood, eats a light breakfast with a glass of fresh orange juice, a few apple slices, and never forgets her heart medication, a beta blocker called celiprolol, prescribed to manage her high blood pressure and irregular heartbeat. She's proud of how disciplined she is, but lately, something strange has been happening. Her blood pressure has spiked again, her heartbeat feels off, and she's been waking up lightheaded. Concerned, she visits her doctor, bringing along her blood pressure records and a neatly labeled pill box. She's doing everything by the book, except for one small detail she never thought twice about: that morning glass of juice. When her doctor asks if anything has changed in her routine, Marlene mentions that she's swapped coffee for juice, thinking it would be better for her heart. But what she didn't realize was that the seemingly healthy habit was quietly sabotaging her treatment. You see, some fruit juices, especially apple, orange, and American grapefruit, can interfere with how your body absorbs certain heart medications, particularly beta blockers like celiprolol or Tylenol. Here's what happens. Inside your small intestine, there's a special protein called OATP, organic anion transporting polypeptide. It works like a tiny gateway, helping medications pass through your intestinal wall into your bloodstream. When that gate functions well, your medication gets absorbed properly and does its job. But when you drink apple or orange juice, natural compounds in the juice block that gateway. The medication can't get through. It passes right through your body without ever reaching your bloodstream. So even though Marlene was faithfully taking her pills, her body wasn't absorbing them at all. This isn't just theory. Research shows that apple juice can reduce absorption of beta blockers by 50% to even 80%. That's like cutting your dose in half or more without knowing it. And imagine how many people believe their blood pressure meds just stopped working, when the real issue might be what they're drinking with it. Marlene isn't the only one. Let's look at another example. People living with heart failure. Jerry, 72, from Ohio, was prescribed digoxin, a powerful heart medication. It helps the heart pump more effectively, but it's also very sensitive. Too much can become toxic. Jerry took it religiously, twice a day. But he also had a long-standing habit: a big glass of orange juice with every meal. Within 2 weeks, Gary began feeling nauseous, dizzy, and noticed his vision becoming blurry. What happened? Orange juice along with grapefruit blocks another important intestinal protein called P-glycoprotein. This protein acts as a safety filter, preventing too much of certain drugs from being absorbed into the bloodstream. But when these juices block that filter, the body absorbs more drug than intended, a lot more. In Gary's case, the result was rising digoxin levels in his blood, pushing him dangerously close to digoxin toxicity, a potentially life-threatening situation. And the scariest part? These effects don't show up instantly. They build quietly over days or even weeks, until the symptoms become impossible to ignore. These aren't rare or exotic juices. They're everyday drinks we associate with good health. But when you're taking medications, healthy doesn't always mean safe. So what can you do? Start by switching to water when taking your pills. Just plain water, nothing else. If you want to enjoy juice or fruit, Space it out. Wait at least 4 to 6 hours after taking your medication. Better yet, talk to your doctor or pharmacist and ask directly, does this medication interact with any fruits or juices? And let's not forget, this advice isn't just for prescription meds. Even over-the-counter supplements and herbal remedies can be affected by how your body absorbs or processes them. Oh, it might seem surprising. We've been taught our whole lives that fruits are the ultimate health food, and they are. But when you're taking medication, especially for your heart, blood pressure, or cholesterol, timing and combinations really do matter. So let me ask you this. Have you ever taken your medicine with juice, thinking it was the healthier choice? Do you or someone in your family have a habit of drinking orange or apple juice while on heart medication? If so, drop a comment below. Your story might help someone else realize a hidden risk in their routine. And if you've always used water to take your pills, good job. Give that like button a tap to help spread this knowledge to others who may need it. Marlene made one small change. She swapped her morning juice for water. Within a week, her blood pressure stabilized. No new pills, no higher dose, just a smarter combination. Sometimes, the solution isn't in the medicine, it's in what we pair it with. Every morning, 68-year-old Henry from Florida starts his day with a glass of warm lemon water and a few slices of pineapple. He believes this simple habit helps clean out his stomach and boost digestion. Recently, after dealing with ongoing acid reflux and heartburn, his doctor prescribed him a common acid-reducing medication, omeprazole. Henry took it exactly as directed first thing in the morning before breakfast and still kept his lemon water routine. But after 2 weeks, instead of feeling better, he felt worse. The burning sensation in his chest returned with more intensity, the acid reflux became more frequent, and he started experiencing nausea after meals. When he returned to the doctor for a follow-up, they reviewed everything from medication to diet, and that's when they realized it wasn't the medicine that was the problem, it was the lemon water. Here's what most people don't know. Acid-reducing medications like omeprazole, lansoprazole, or esomeprazole work by suppressing the production of stomach acid. This gives the stomach lining a chance to heal and prevents ulcers from worsening. But if you're trying to reduce stomach acid and then add more acid through sour fruits like lemon, pineapple, tamarind, or even orange, you're sending your digestive system two very different signals. It's like trying to put out a fire while pouring gasoline on it. The stomach needs a calm, low-acid environment to recover. These medications help lower acid levels, but sour fruits have a very low pH, meaning they're highly acidic. Eating them, especially around the same time you take acid-suppressing drugs, disrupts the healing process. Instead of neutralizing the acid, you're refueling it, but that's not all. The acidity in these fruits can also damage the protective coating on certain pills. Many acid-reducing medications come in capsule form, designed to dissolve slowly in a less acidic part of the digestive tract. When your stomach is filled with lemon or pineapple juice, it may cause the capsules to break down early, reducing their effectiveness or even irritating your stomach lining further. Another common myth is that pineapple helps with digestion. While it's true that pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme that can break down protein, it also stimulates stomach acid production. For someone with normal digestion, this isn't a big issue. But for someone battling ulcers or acid reflux, it's a risky trigger. Have you ever seen someone take stomach meds and then follow it with sour fruit or even orange juice? You might think, it's just fruit, it's healthy, it can't be harmful, but in reality, this habit might be the reason symptoms linger for weeks or even months, despite proper medication. So what can you do when you're being treated for gastritis, ulcers, or acid reflux? It's crucial to avoid sour fruits or juices at least 1-2 hours before and after taking your stomach medication. During active treatment phases, it's best to avoid acidic fruits altogether. Choose gentle, neutral fruits like ripe bananas, sweet apples, watermelon, pears, or papaya. They're easier on the stomach and still provide important nutrients. I get it. Being told to avoid fruit, especially when you're trying to eat healthier, can feel frustrating. But this is just a temporary adjustment. And trust me, your stomach will thank you for it later. Now, Let me ask you, are you currently taking medication for acid reflux or ulcers? Have you been pairing it with sour fruits or juices without realizing the consequences? If you've been following your treatment plan but still feel discomfort, the issue might not be the pills, it could be what's on your plate or in your glass. Drop a comment below and share your experience. You never know who might benefit. From hearing your story, Henry made one small change. He paused the lemon water, and within a week, the burning sensation began to ease. His medicine didn't change, but how he used it did. And that made all the difference. We're circling back to a familiar fruit, grapes. But this time, it's not about heart medication. We'll talk about how grapes and grape juice can dangerously interact with sedatives and asthma medications, increasing drowsiness or reducing drug absorption, potentially leading to accidents or uncontrolled symptoms. Don't miss it. David, a 74-year-old retiree living in California, takes his health seriously. He's managed mild asthma since his 30s and more recently started taking medication for anxiety and occasional sleep issues. His doctor prescribed him theophylline for asthma and a low-dose sedative diazepam to help with sleep every night. David follows a routine. He takes his pill, then sips a glass of purple grape juice before bed. It's a habit he's kept for months, believing grapes are heart healthy and help him sleep better. But lately, David hasn't felt quite right. He's been unusually tired, groggy during the day, and once even dozed off while driving home from the grocery store. Worse yet, his asthma, previously under control, has begun acting up again, with shortness of breath and even some wheezing. When he returned to the doctor, they went over everything: medication, timing, and diet. That's when the doctor asked a simple question: have you been drinking grape juice? The answer changed everything. As it turns out, that seemingly innocent glass of grape juice was quietly interfering with not one, but both of David's medications. Grapes, and especially grape juice, contain natural compounds like furanocoumarins and bioflavonoids. These substances inhibit an enzyme called CYP3A4, crucial part of your body's drug metabolism system. When this enzyme is blocked, medications can't be broken down properly. Instead, they build up in the bloodstream, leading to a much higher dose than intended, even if you're taking the exact amount prescribed for sedatives like diazepam, buspirone, or carbamazepine. This enzyme inhibition means your body can't clear the drug efficiently. Blood levels rise, sometimes up to 2 or 3 times higher, causing excessive drowsiness, brain fog, and slower reaction times. This can be dangerous, especially for older adults who drive, climb stairs, or live alone. But it doesn't stop there. Grape juice also affects asthma medications, particularly those in the theophylline class. Instead of increasing drug levels, grape juice can reduce the absorption of these meds in the intestines, making them far less effective. That's why David's asthma began flaring up again. His body wasn't absorbing enough of the medication to keep symptoms under control. So here we have one fruit, grapes, that can amplify one drug's effect while weakening another. And the person in the middle, just trying to stay healthy and get a good night's sleep. It feels unfair, doesn't it? The truth is, grape juice is often marketed as a super drink full of antioxidants and heart benefits. But when combined with certain medications, it becomes a silent disruptor. And the problem isn't limited to grapes. According to current research, more than 80 medications are affected by grape products, juice, fruit, and even supplements, with at least 40 of them leading to potentially dangerous interactions. These include blood pressure medications, cholesterol-lowering drugs, sedatives and anti-anxiety medications, asthma medications, heart failure drugs, and many more. Not everything healthy is harmless, especially when you're taking medications. The issue isn't the fruit itself, it's how and when you use it. Are you or someone in your family taking sedatives or asthma medications? Have you ever had grape juice or eaten grapes around the same time? Share your story in the comments. Sometimes, it's small habits like a nightly glass of juice that make the biggest difference in how your medications work. David's doctor gave him one simple piece of advice: switch from juice to water when taking medication, and avoid grapes for a few hours before and after his pills. Within a week, David was clearer-headed, his asthma was back under control, and he was sleeping better with less medication, not more. Throughout this video, we've uncovered some surprising and even alarming stories. An elderly man ended up hospitalized after eating grapes while on blood pressure meds. A woman lost the effectiveness of her heart medication due to apple juice. Someone treating stomach ulcers saw no progress because they were still drinking lemon water, and another man was excessively drowsy all day. Not from his pills, but from combining them with grape juice. They all had one thing in common. They didn't do anything wrong. They simply didn't know. Fruits are good for your health, no question. But when you're taking medication, not all fruits are your friend. Why can fruit become harmful when you're on medication? Many fruits, especially grapes, grapefruit, apples, oranges, lemons, and pineapples contain natural compounds that can block key enzymes that break down medications, causing drug buildup and potential toxicity, inhibit absorption of medications, leading to reduced effectiveness, increased stomach acid, interfering with acid-reducing drugs, enhance drug absorption too much, pushing levels past the safe limit. These effects can be subtle or sudden, from constant fatigue, headaches, shortness of breath, increased blood pressure, to even liver damage or treatment failure. The consequences are real. So, how do you enjoy fruit safely while taking medications? Here are 3 golden rules to follow. First, never take medication with fruit juice, whether it's apple, orange, grape, or pineapple juice. Use plain water only to take your pills. Second, separate fruit and medication by at least 4-6 hours, especially when using drugs for blood pressure, heart issues, stomach conditions, anxiety, or asthma. Third, always ask your doctor or pharmacist. Everyone's medication list is different. Ask, should I avoid any fruits while taking this? Linda, a 66-year-old from Texas, had trouble managing her blood pressure. Her doctor had tried 3 different medications with little success. Then, in a follow-up visit, they discovered her daily breakfast included a glass of orange juice and a handful of grapes. After switching to plain water with her pills and avoiding those fruits in the morning, her blood pressure stabilized within a week without changing the medication. Sometimes, you don't need a new drug, you just need a new approach. What medications are you currently taking? Have you ever taken your pills with fruit juice or eaten fruit immediately afterward? Did anything in this video make you rethink a daily habit? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might help someone else avoid a dangerous interaction they didn't even know existed. We don't need to fear fruit. We just need to understand it as we would a close friend. Eat wisely, at the right time, in harmony with your body's needs, and your medicine will have the best chance to do its job. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with someone you care about. A small change like switching from juice to water can protect their health more than they imagine.